Hey, this is Thunder of Zeus, and I'm bringing you a segment that I'm going to call One Track Mind versus something you should always keep in mind. And that's really what the difference is between noobs and good players. Noobs have one track minds, and good players have things that they always keep in mind. Let me give you some examples to clarify. A noob who's playing wind-ups might have the one-track mind that all they can do is shock lock and pass, or shock lock, set some back row, pass. Whereas a good player understands that they have a variety of options, that's a powerful play, it's a good thing to have in their arsenal, but it's not all that they can do. They might shock lock later in the game, but once they see a shock lock, they're going to decide if that's the best thing based on things that they always have in mind. For example of things that you should always have in mind, I have a motto that if you run into torrential, you lose. It's not always true, but the idea is that if you overextend and you overplay and you run into torrential tribute and you lose your field, you're going to lose the duel, because that gives your opponent a chance to respond back. If you're going crazy, putting all these monsters on the board, burning your normal summon, and then you don't have something to follow it up with, Chaos Dragons don't usually have a problem with this because they're like Pulsar. If they hit a torrential, it's going to come back with the red MD. So that's an example of where it's not necessarily true, but sometimes, most times, if you run into torrential tribute, you're going to lose. So the good player has that in mind. They have other things in mind. For example, one time I was playing against a player who was better than myself. His name is Garen Williams. And after the game, I was talking to him, and I asked him a question about a certain play, and he said, well, at that time, I was only scared of, and he mentioned, like, DP, T-King. He listed off the different things that he had in his mind that he was aware that I could have that would hinder his plays. So you always have to be thinking, what specifically am I afraid of? Then you can make better reads, better plays. You just need to know what's going to hurt you at what times. That's why unexpected techs can catch people off guard. That's why they often win duels. Because if you're not expecting your opponent to have something, if you're not looking out for it, then you could lose to it. Magic Cylinder is a great example. If someone techs into Magic Cylinder, you've already used Warning and Judgment, or even Warning and taken some damage, you could lose to that Magic Cylinder if you drop your Grand Sword of Swing. Just keep in mind all the things that could be going on. Make reads on your opponent based on what you've done so far, and don't have that one-track mind that this is the only thing that I can do. Options win games. Wind-ups have tons of options that they can do. Even Dark Worlds have different options. Like, when you're looking at your hand and you have a Tour Guide and then you have a Snow, you're going to summon the Tour Guide most times, but sometimes it's better to summon the Snow if you have like a deck devastation set, so if your opponent goes for the bottomless, you can flip that and not lose card advantage. You just need to consider all of your options. Don't think that you can only do one thing at a time. Just really think about what you're scared of, think about all your options, and play accordingly. Don't be a one-track mind duelist, but always have something in mind. Thunder of Zeus, out.